Okay, so since we're on the topic of being honest, I am aiming to put out more unfiltered, unedited kind of YouTube content because I feel like I was so caught up with the beautifying of everything that I've slowed down on my own goals on how much I want to be putting out. The value that I am getting, I want to be putting out as fast. So here goes nothing. I'm just gonna make a video about what I have learned in the past week. So for the past month, I have been uploading my weekly analysis on Sunday or Monday, and then an update by the end of the week on my course. And I realized that this is actually holding me accountable for the kind of learnings and teaching that I want to do. And I want it to be even more, consistent, or even more higher frequency than before. And because of all the traveling, it was really difficult for me to just sit down and like look at similar charts, not just converting from my screen to my iPad and then journaling on Notion on my iPad app and all that. So right now, I hope that you guys will get used to a bit more kind of like unfiltered video, which also means less cutting out of my thought process. And I think that sometimes it's just fun, to watch someone think, right? While you're just, commuting. Or for me, I like to listen to podcasts and people are just talking their minds without thinking too much into it. And it's beneficial. Okay, so I'm just gonna minimize myself and then talk about what I learned. So this itself was October 25th. So if you just go into the calendar right here. So it was last Friday. Right now it's 28, Monday. And these are my attempts to journal the past few weeks, even though like the markets have been really nice. I just couldn't show up to the charts as often as I like. But that's also because I decided to travel and I have no complaints. So last Friday, this was what I was looking at. We have 9:30 opening price, which is Friday. Okay, I think I took this on my iPad. There's only two charts. So there's S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. So this is how I compare between them. And if you guys are interested to know more, I actually teach them like one by one in my course, like when to use previous day's high, previous week's high, etc. But for this video, I just want to do a studying for me on like, okay, this is what I see before, this is what I see after. Okay, so 9:30 a.m. Price is above weekly open for NQ, and if I'm looking for lower prices, NQ would be the better one because I anticipate that this weekly candle would be a down close candle. So what it means is that I expect price to close underneath this true week open. So here for ES, and then this true week open for NQ. Okay, so here are all the levels that I marked out. And then, so ES, it went all the way above previous day's high. And then for NQ, it went all the way up into previous week's high before the drop down. So all these indications are already in the market before I look for any entries. And then you can see how it reacted off this and reacted off this. So what I would have done is going into the small time frame by the time price reaches here, and then I will look for shorts. Right, so for ES on this chart, it did manage to close down here, which is away from its true week open. And let's see for NQ, true week open is 20468. 20468 is roughly here. If I was only looking for shorts the moment it starts reversing, then this would have been a trade I would like to see. But overall, let's go into the charts right now and see and study with me what I would have done. So my charts are messy in comparison to ICT's standard, but this is just a platform for me to study, and I'm not particularly wanting to teach the specific level, so I hope after looking on this for a bit your eyes would get used to the mess. Okay, so what we're looking at, okay, the replay function did not work, it just reloaded, so I'm just gonna mark out what I'm looking at with this pink line. Okay, so this is the turning point, 10 a.m. right on time. Okay, so that to me is the 9:50 to 10:10 macro. So price just shot up all the way, and I don't usually take trades until I have a confirmation. So whenever price reach into all these levels that I've marked out at the same time, then I will look into the smaller time frame. So here we can see at 10 a.m. it reached into previous day's high. At the same 10 a.m. it reached into previous week's high. Okay, so within the next candle it was bullish, and then they both started turning here. So now I'm gonna open up my Dow Jones as well to see what it's doing at the same time. So I'm just reading the candlesticks. So here we have, okay, by the time 10 comes around for Dow Jones, it's a green candle, and the next candle is already red, so it started turning, right? So by the time price actually gave us this break of structure on Dow Jones, right, this is the last low, and then we have a closing beneath a new week opening gap as well, and the recent low for NQ. Wow, so pretty. So for NQ and ES, it's still hovering above, so that's 11:10, right? So here we have green candle for Nasdaq, while a red for both S&P 500 and Dow Jones. Okay, so now when I see Dow Jones, going lower, I'm anticipating for ES and NQ to go lower. I know it's very easy to say all this hindsight, but just float with that thought for a bit, and the next time when you see something like this in your own charts, anticipate lower prices and then see what happens. Okay, so now I'm gonna go even lower. Alright, so what I'm looking for is during the macro timing from 10:10 to 11:10. So these are usually the time that I go into the market looking for something. So here's 10:50 to 11:10 macro. Yeah, and then from 10:30 all the way to 12 a.m. I'm anticipating sort of a reversal kind of move. So compared to the first part, what it's doing, I'm expecting 10:30 onwards for it to give me a reversal or a continuation move. And then that 10:50 to 11:10 entry point or like entry opportunity would be the trade, the trade setup, and then the play out until 12 a.m. Okay, so we have a nice little pullback higher. Let's go into the 1 minute, and now I'm gonna, yeah, so by 11:10 price already broke beneath this swing low for Dow Jones, short-term swing low. If you find my voice a bit like boring right now, you guys can just like increase it to 1.5 or something to make me more excited. Okay, so here we have that area, and between S&P 500 and NQ, it's a consolidation while DJ was going lower. Okay, so now I'm also spotting like what else can I see, right? And we see a nice little reversal exactly at the new day opening gap, which is this blue highlighted area. Okay, so I'm going into 1 minute. Okay, so on the 1 minute, we can see how it reversed from this new day opening gap. Yeah, and then it broke down. Oh, tapping really nicely on true week open right here. And then the trade opportunity came. So you can see, right, like we have high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, and then this breaking of taking out the last low, and then into the 10:50 and 11:10 macro timing. So ideally I would have wanted a trade, you know, somewhere on this fair value gap, and then on here it's this fair value gap that I can see right now. Okay, so NQ was doing the same thing as well, just going lower, taking out the most recent short-term low. Okay, so this would have been the entry point. ES would have missed, you know, this new week opening gap entry. I mean fair value gap on the minute one time frame. And then the other fair value gap I can see is right here, which it kind of disrespected a bit. But for NQ, it was just consistently tapping on this fair value gap. And we can also spot another one over here, which overlaps with this fair value gap. And we see how price tap on it at around 12:30 before giving the big push down. Okay, so let's say a really safe trade setup, right, for me when price is at 11:10 would have been a short position from this fair value gap, and then a stop loss above this swing high, and then a take profit where I'll go out into the larger time frame. And then look for fair value gap. So let's say I'm still in the mindset, right, of price ultimately wanting to close beneath true week open. I would believe that it wants to even revisit the true week open. So that is on this price point. So my full TP would then be 1:6.8. Oh, it really did visit this true week open before closing out. So let me just mark out this true week open price. I take it from Tuesday opening, and then right click, true week open. Okay, it's purple over here. We just adjust it properly. Open, yeah. Okay, so if I was to just leave that trade like that and not look at it, it would have hit my full TP. Very nice, very nice. So this is how studying looks like for me. And what I would do then is, if I'm awake, you know, then this would have been the potential second entry. So what it did before 12 a.m. is just given us a 1:2, and that's good as well. You know, by the time 12 a.m. comes around, I would have closed out all of my trade. So you can see that after 12, right, what it did is it went back into the range again. So if I didn't close out at 12, if I did close out at 12, the max I got would have gotten is 1.8, which is pretty decent as well if my entire TP, you know, is all the way down here. And then by the time 12 comes around, I feel like the market is slowing down, I would have just exited. Right? And if I'm awake and wanted to stack on another trade, then you can see that the entire PM session, you know, from after lunch, right, around 12:30, it started pushing all the way down to 2:10. 2:10 p.m. And then for the remaining of the closing, New York PM session, just gave this lackluster movement. And so today's opening, we have this big new wick opening gap right now. So I'm just gonna take a photo of this trade and then update my journal, which looks like this. Okay. This is usually how I journal. I make the Notion really small because I don't really need to see it, but I just want to copy and paste all of this in there. Okay, so on M1, price reached PDH on ES and previous week's high on NQ, while Dow Jones showed willingness to go lower. Macro timing 10:50 a.m. to 11:10 a.m. Retest of fair value gap. Okay, so entry on NQ, M1 FEG, stop loss above recent high, take profit under at true wick open. Okay, so price gave 1.83 risk to RR, risk to reward by 12 a.m. Full TP of 16.8 R. At 2:10 a.m. New York PM session Q2. And then I'll just take another screenshot of what it looks like on the larger time frame. Price in line with TGIF trade setup. So in New York AM session, pushed higher and 20 to 30% retracement after London closing. So London closed at 11 a.m. New York time. So the macro timing that's given, which is between 10:50 to 11:10 a.m. is where London closing is. So you can see that TGIF trade is a retracement of the entire week's range down into 20 to 30% of the range. So if I was to pull out this Fibonacci retracement from the lowest point that was created on Wednesday to this high point that's just made during New York AM, and then I'm going to open up 20 to 30%. You can see that price actually gave this retracement over here. So if I'm also using this trade idea to enter the trade, my TP1 would then be the 20%, TP2, the 30%, and then the ultimate TP will be the same expectation as the true week open, because this is ultimately where I want to get out. So before I place any form of trades, I want to know like my full TP is at least 1:1, 1:2, depending on the trading day itself. So it really depends. There are more than just like news factor that make me consider when to take 1:1 trades, because I know a lot of people are like turned off by it, but that is my worst case scenario, 1:1. And don't judge 1:1. It's paying the bills, okay? Okay, so that's it for that review of the previous week, what happened on the last day of the week itself. Alright, so I am going to record another video on my current week expectation, which I will post on my private group. And if you guys would like to join, just make sure to follow me on my Telegram to find more updates. Sometimes I just open these videos to the public when my gut instinct tells me to. And a lot of times when I follow this kind of gut instinct, the trade actually plays out really well. So yeah. And then for the private, videos, I tend to go a bit more in details and not just the very like clickbaity kind of thing. So the clickbait stuff is usually what I put out to attract people, right? Which is using things like, the money and the how fast it is to trade and make money. And then in my private and longer form videos like this is when I actually go into how else this money bought back my time, which then bought back this mindset that I have, and I wish to inspire other people to get into trading so that they can get this kind of mental headspace, this kind of relationship with yourself, with your family, with your friends and all that. So yeah, if you want the clickbaity stuff to motivate you to get started in trading, make sure to follow me on my Telegram channel as well as Instagram. And then if you're ready for more personal development, then you can join my course or just follow me closely on YouTube. I'm really trying my best to put out more raw and unfiltered stuff, not too made up. I know a lot of videos would do well with more like pretty hair, makeup, showing a bit more skin and all that kind of stuff, but I do believe that we are shifting into a more slow form content for people who are more intentional with what they want to do with their lives, and I am very happy to be feeding that side of the community and hopefully grow together with those who can get past the clickbaity stuff. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you like whatever I just shared, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you are always ready, to absorb all this energy that I'm willing to give. I'm happily putting out, vibing together in the realms of world to bring forth more intentional traders to put out their content on YouTube as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.